This is my money, kind of a mix between a Lapbook folder game to learn about money and how we should spend it. It's for young kids. This is the front. I first stapled 3 file folders together. You have to be careful to get them all in the fold and then try to, close as you can, get in the middle so that they all open. So it's kind of like a book. This is the front, money, and then the first part is showing what they are, and I use Matthew C. So I have the Matthew C. blocks, but they tell each little square represents 1 cent or $1, and that's how they do theirs. Each dollar, quarter, dime, nickel, penny, and then here's a bag of coins. I thought it was important to use the coins to so that they could feel the money. This game is to take the coins and place them on the appropriate coin so that they can match them and just get familiar with them. This is a Matthew C. game where they have to count how many of the squares, and they place the coin that represents that much money, or that cent amount. And then next we deal with dollars, the exchange, money exchange. So how many quarters equal $1, how many dimes, nickels, and pennies, and we get to learn that. The next one is quarters. How many nickels equal a quarter? How many dimes and nickels, pennies, and then dimes equal 50 cents. And the next one is nickels, and how many pennies equal, and so what things, money exchange, what things represent. Now we get to learn about money in basically God's kingdom, where we talk about giving, savings, short and long term, and spending. And over here we have all money is God's, and this is all just a Velcro strip, and each one of these little teeny weeny dollars has Velcro on the back, and then there's Velcro here. So if they only have a small amount of money, they can use savings, giving, and spending, and this represents how you can divvy out your money. If you want to have a short-term or long-term thing for older kids, you can do that over here. And then as they get their allowance, and then you say, okay, then we put it in savings, we put it in spending, and then we put it in giving. And then the next time they get their money, they're going to see it build in those containers. So the spending goes up, and the giving goes up, and then they can give and save. Over here we have reasons to give. So why we give, and giving is obeying God, and there's the verse. Giving is thanking God, and there's the verse. I accidentally put it on the other side too. Giving is thanking God. Giving is trusting God. And so there's the verses down here. And then how to give. And we have give prayerfully, give big, that's his arms, give quietly, and give cheerfully. And here are the verses, and there's a treasure chest. Here are the verses that go along with those things, how we give. And the next one I'm going to show you, this is Money Bingo. When you pull out a money card, they are in chronological order, so the first one is easiest, and the second, and it gets harder as you get to number. And I was going to show you how I was going to make the bingo cards. Here are the bingo pieces, but we want to make a envelope pocket that holds this. So I'm going to take a regular envelope, and I'm going to find my scissors. Oh, there we go. And then I'm going to cut that envelope to the size I need it, about like that. And then we're going to open it up, and I'm going to fold it the size I want it. I want it long and thin. So this is how long I want it. So I'm going to cut off this part. Now this looks ugly first, but it will turn out. And then I'm going to make a triangle, another triangle, that's going to fit my new envelope. And first off, I'm going to then get this glued on this side because I cut it short. And this is what it's going to look like then. There. And then we're going to glue it on the back. That's an easy way to make an envelope. There we go. And we can put our bingo cards, our bingo pieces inside here. If you have problems with this coming open after it's dry, I'm going to push everything on the other side. You can staple it. That's what staplers are for. And we put our bingo cards back in the card. I made this pocket just by taking a full sheet of Costco construction paper and just folding it and stapling it alongside and then gluing it to the bottom. Now here's it's my spinners. Now this one isn't working very well, but this one was working great. Where we're going to have a game where they're going to make change. They're going to pay these people. So here's giving, and we're going to get this working better. There we go. We're going to make change, and wherever it lands, then they have to make that amount of money. So you use the coins in the front and the coins in the back. And then I made another one of these little envelopes to hold my dollars and $5 bills, $1 bills and $5 bills. And I'm going to make the other one to hold, aha, there it is. So you can see how I did it. I take this, and I want to cut it about the size I want it. And I want to make sure it fits my dollars. So I'm going to fold it just so I know where to cut. I'm going to cut down the side and cut off this little flap in the inside. You know, before I did this, I glued the thing shut, the envelope shut. I licked it just like I would do an ordinary, and I glued it shut. So there you go. And then there. And I'm going to make a little triangle here so it fits into a slit, which I did with this other one, to secure it. I do those very pretty. And then you glue it on there, and that will hold my 20s and 100s. Couldn't find a 10 on Flickr, but that's okay. And I also wanted to show you how to make one of these spinners. First, you take this and you poke a hole there through the center. That helps. And then you take a paper clip, you open it up, and you use that same pen, and we want to make a circle. So we're going to wrap it around, and we're going to squish it. And then we're going to put our finger through, and you don't want to make it too tight and open up our wing, I call them wing fasteners. You don't want to make it too tight because it won't spin. Let's see if we can get going. Oops, it's bent. It's another. Woohoo! Well, you know, some of these, there we go. You don't want to make it too tight. But, so that's their spin, so they can like go out, okay, we're going to ice cream. Okay, we're going to buy Nerf darts. And they have to make the change out of using the 1s and the 5s and the coins in the front. We're going to put these in here. So that is teaching them about money.